So on to the actual plot of the episode. I actually really liked how they worked the songs into it, because that was going to be the biggest problem. Like, you didn't want to just have them like randomly bursting into song for no apparent reason. That would have felt really cringy and weird and uncomfortable. So the fact that it was a spell cast by Snow in an attempt to try to kind of protect her child and find a way to save their child. And so I like that. I really like the idea that the songs all kind of were inside Emma, and so like even from before she was born, all the people who ended up being a hugely influential part of her life, other than Henry obviously, but that's because he wasn't born yet, but all the people who were going to be helping her on this journey were a part of her without her even really knowing. And I think that that was really nice, and it's just a nice kind of, obviously the songs are just kind of like a metaphor for the kind of love that these people have for her, even though at the time obviously the Evil Queen was out to get Snow and Charming and destroy their happiness. Obviously it's that kind of idea that in the future, like, they were all destined to be a family, and oh, it's just really lovely. And so I like that. I like that it was, the songs were kind of like just a metaphor for that support system that she has, that she never has to feel alone again, and that having these people with her, it doesn't matter what life throws at her, if she's got these people with her, she can cope with it and she can be victorious. And that was really lovely. So I feel like they worked that really nicely into it. I really appreciated that. Moving on from the kind of musical side of things, obviously, like, the one thing that I really want to say, because I did get around to doing a review of the previous episode, which I wish I had because it's excellent. I thought that 619 was such a good episode, and Jamie Murray I just want to give like the biggest round of applause for, because she's been so good. But yeah, I mean, see at the end of that episode when Rumpel came in and was like, it's done, dealt with her, like, got rid of my mother, and they were all like, oh yay, celebrate, thanks Rumpel. I was like, guys, are you kidding me? Who believes Rumpel? You never believe Rumpel, ever. You never, unless you have actual evidence. And yeah, okay, so he's like, oh, here's her heart. But like, I'm sorry, but I would have asked to see a body in that case. That's like in Snow White, where like the huntsman comes back with a pig's heart, and you know, the queen's like satisfied with that, and then she finds out, oh, actually it wasn't Snow White, she's still out there. Like, Rumpel's swanning in, we're like, oh, here you go, like, I killed my mother, ta-da, go and enjoy your wedding. And they're all like, oh, sweet, great, that's wonderful, like, we'll go and enjoy ourselves now. That frustrated me slightly, because I was like, there's no way that they would actually just buy that. But anyway, small issue, moving on. So I kind of loved that, like, I feel like I don't really quite understand why they had to get married the next day. Like, obviously we got to see their wedding, so that's all I'm caring about, but I'm not entirely sure why, like, Emma and Killian had said they were going to postpone until the danger was over. I didn't think that meant they would get married the day after the danger was past. But obviously they just wanted to like make it official and whatever, and that's nice. But the fact she's like picking out her wedding dress on the morning of the wedding, whatever, I was like, guys, you could have like giving yourselves a little bit more time to plan it. Not that it could have been any more beautiful if it tried when they actually got to the ceremony, but anyway. So I love that little moment with Hook and Charming, and they're standing looking at the white suit, and you can see in his face he's just like, I'm not gonna wear that, like, it's just not him and it's not who he is. So I really like the fact that he's like saying to Charming, like, do you think Emma's gonna be mad if I don't wear this? But like, can you imagine him standing there in a white suit? So I loved the tux that he ended up wearing. I loved like the black velvet on the jacket and everything. It was just perfect. Perfectly chosen. I like that David was kind of like, oh, is there not enough leather on it for you? Like, see, to be honest, if they'd got married in their leather jackets, I wouldn't have cared. As long as they were happy, that's the only thing I was bothered about. But it was really nice for them to have an opportunity to get dressed up and make it like a really special occasion. Yeah, anyway, so I really like that. But that scene then obviously got turned into something sad because Emma had arrived. I loved his face where he was like, oh, did I not tell you it's bad luck for me to see you before the wedding? And she's kind of trying to convince him that she's just there to like reassure him that it'll all be okay, but he knows her well enough to know that that's rubbish, and that really she's just there to like tell him she loves him before she potentially dies, because she's thinking this could be it, the Black Fairy is here for me, I might never see these people again. And so yeah, that was a moment. What I really liked was the kind of idea that like this final battle was like, she kept saying throughout that episode, like, this is something I have to do on my own, this is a battle I have to fight myself, it's all, you know, on my shoulders, I'm the saviour, therefore it's my responsibility to do this, and I can't give her any opportunity to hurt any of the people that I love. And so I loved that that was how the kind of songs then came into it, because it was like, even if they're not necessarily with you standing like holding your hands, like their strength is always a part of you, which, oh, it's just so lovely. So the scene where Henry finds in the book that the songs were a part of the past that they didn't know about, and that that's what Emma could use to kind of find the strength to go up against the Black Fairy, was a very emotional time. I cried a lot through that scene. I don't think I'd cried up until that point in the episode. I think I just like laughed most of the time with all the songs. I think I was just so overjoyed with them that I was just like grinning from ear to ear, and then it got to that moment and it was like bam, just started to howl my eyes out. I don't know that I'm going to spend a huge amount of time in this review talking about Emma as a character and why this episode was so significant for me and so significant for her, because I might do a separate review on that, or I'll link in the description box below. I actually wrote a Tumblr post. I have a Tumblr now, by the way. Just one more thing for me to spend hours of my life on, but I wrote a basically like an open letter to Jane and to Emma Swan, basically thanking her for that character because she's been really, really important to me. I appreciate the fact that she has created such an amazing character for us to love, and so I wrote a blog post about it, so I'll link that in the description box below. At that point you can probably go and see me fangirl for a long time. But yeah, Emma as a character has spent her whole life feeling like she's on the either being abandoned or feeling like she's on the verge of being abandoned. So the whole story of her journey from season 1 to now was Henry finding her at a point that she was at her probably her most guarded and her most determined not to let anyone in and to let anyone hurt her. And oh, see that moment in that episode where she said she was crying and she said to Henry, I wasn't even strong enough to keep you, and I was just like, oh no. Let's not start that, because that's opening a can of worms that'll just make me cry for another hour. But the fact that he found her and he brought her there, and he brought her there to find her family, and like that gets referenced down at the vows, which we'll get to in a minute, but she's just spent so much time feeling like she's never going to be part of anything permanently, that she's always going to end up on her own, and that she has only herself to rely on. And it's the kind of culmination of all that, of all these seasons worth of like learning to like be a mum to Henry and be there for him and allow him to kind of be there for her, and developing these relationships with her parents and learning to kind of forgive them for abandoning her because she's realised why they sent her away when they did, and obviously then falling in love with Killian and learning to like trust him and open up to him and be vulnerable and emotional with him, and then like developing these really important friendships with people like Regina that are based on, you know, what started out as like a lot of antagonistic like mutual loathing, which then grew into this real kind of mutual respect, and the realisation that they're always going to be stronger working together than they are working against each other, and realising that at the end of the day all that either of them wants is the best for Henry, and working together to kind of make that happen. And so she's been through so much, and I felt like this episode was just such a beautiful representation of the journey that she's been on, and realising that what makes her strong is being who she's always been, but with the added strength of all these people who love her. So okay, quickly going to talk about the vows because they were perfect. I had like high hopes for the vows. Obviously I was going to have high hopes for the vows because this is my OTP, guys. I honestly don't believe that there will ever be a fictional couple who will mean as much to me as Emma Swan and Killian Jones. I really don't, and I am a massive fangirl. We all know this. We all know that for years I have like shipped various people and got totally involved in fandoms in terms of like really rooting for certain characters and certain relationships and friendships and whatever. But I will be very surprised if anyone ever writes a fictional couple again who will affect me in the way that these two have. Again, I'm sure some of you are watching this and being like, wow, that was really melodramatic, but I think stories are really important, and fictional representations of things are really important to us in trying to kind of navigate life. And I think that what Adam, Eddie and the writers, and then Jen and Colin did with this relationship is something really special, and I completely respect anybody who doesn't agree with that. I know there are lots of people who are not on board with Captain Swan and they're not fans of it, and they, for their own personal reasons, feel like it's not a good representation of a relationship, and that's completely fine. Everyone is completely entitled to their own interpretation of these things, and so I'm really sorry if actually it's not worked for you and it's been difficult for you for any sort of reason. If you're watching this and you know you've not been on board, whether you've been like a Swan Queen shipper or like an Emma and Neil shipper, or you've not shipped Emma with anybody and just felt like it wasn't right for whatever reason, like I'm not one of these people who's going to go on Twitter and be like, your opinion is invalid. So the vows are perfect. I love that they weren't too like gushy and over the top, because they're not gushy over the top people. They're not going to stand there and like say all this like super fluffy like over the top stuff. Probably like my two favourite bits of it were when he said that they say a captain's heart belongs to a ship but now mine belongs to you. That was beautiful and I loved that, especially just kind of because that sort of like references the fact that he gave up the Jolly Roger for her in the past and he was willing to do it again, and all of that just tied in really nicely, because the moment that he told her that he's given up the Jolly Roger for her was such an important turning point in their relationship. So the fact that that was sort of like subtly referenced in the vows, I just loved. And then the other bit that I probably really enjoyed the most was when Emma said that just because you learn that you come from true love doesn't mean that you think that you'll ever find it, and now I've got it with you. It was so beautiful. Both of their vows were just exactly what I wanted them to be. Speaking of the actual ceremony part of it, I loved Emma's dress. I thought it was beautiful. Again, I know that some people weren't fans of it and that they didn't think that it looked like what Emma would wear. One thing that I would say, if I had one thing that I would probably have preferred, and this is just me being totally nitpicky, I probably would have had her hair down. That's the only thing that I would have changed, because I just feel like for the first huge chunk of ones to had her hair down, and I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I just feel like that I would have liked that. But the dress itself I thought was absolutely stunning. I suppose also if she'd had her hair down, you wouldn't, this is such a like ridiculous moment for me to be talking about, but if she'd had her hair down then you wouldn't have seen like all the detail around like the collar, which was so beautiful. I loved that it was like referencing Princess Grace's dress, so it had that really beautiful like intricate vintage glamour to it that I just thought was absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, hair down. For whatever reason I would have had her hair down, but never mind. So yeah, vows are perfect. Post-wedding kiss was perfect. Everything about that was gorgeous. I loved like the look on Snow and Charming's faces as they walked her down the aisle. I loved that both of them did that. I loved that we saw like that Neil was there and Robin was there, because these babies just like are never there when they should be. So Granny was sitting with Neil and Zelina was sitting with baby Robin, which I was glad, because I was like, they need to explain sometimes where these children go. I was really gutted that Belle didn't get to be there. That's one thing that I really am sad about, is that Belle didn't get to be at Emma and Killing's wedding, because she's someone who's become like a friend to both of them and she's been such a huge part of it. And I know that Rumpel wanted to keep her and Gideon safe, so you know he's sent them off to whatever, but I just was really sad that she didn't get to be there. I can't feel my foot, it's gone completely to sleep. So obviously at the end of the episode we see the Black Fairy's curse coming. Who knows what's going to happen? Actually some people do, because they've put out a couple of sneak peeks. I haven't watched them yet. I'm being very strong. I haven't watched them yet because I kind of would just rather not. I'd rather just wait until I watch the whole episode, because I don't know, I'm nervous about it, I'm anxious about it. As I say, I'm not going to go into detail about this in this review because I'm going to talk about all of the season 7 stuff and my feelings about the cast departures and how they're going to go about season 7 in my next video. Okay, so I've been filming for probably about half an hour, so I am going to stop now. Please leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought of this episode, whatever you thought of it. Like, I love a good old healthy debate, so if you didn't like it, let me know, but if you loved it as much as I did, then we can have a good old chat about it. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, you can subscribe to keep up to date with all of my videos. There will be more Once Upon a Time discussion videos coming very soon. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, because it's always really helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you have had a lovely day and I will speak to you again soon. Bye!